So once you've logged in and created your account on Padlet, you'll be taken to a home screen like this. And on this home screen, you'll have a few different options up here by your name in the corner. So you can either make a Padlet, join a Padlet, or go to the Padlet gallery and view some awesome Padlets that have already been created. That might be a great place to find inspiration for your Padlet, or maybe to even borrow a Padlet. For this video, I'm going to focus on making a Padlet and look at what are the different options that you have in Padlet, and how are you going to create this to give out to your students and share it with them. So I'm going to click Make a Padlet, and this is going to take me to a page where I have different Padlet templates. So picking a template is going to really help you set up your assignments. You want to think about what kind of assignment am I giving to students, and how do I want them collaborating with each other and working with each other. One of the most common templates is the wall template here. The wall allows you to kind of post a title or a prompt or discussion at the top, and then students or whoever has access to it can post comments on that wall. Almost sort of like a social media feed in some ways, but clearly their comments will be about whatever the topic is at hand. They can also add pictures or videos, and they can link to documents if they've got like a longer response on a document, or a reading that they've completed or something like that. That can all be linked on the wall. So this is a really great option just for student discussions, and to get students kind of conversing with one another. They can leave comments on each other's posts and kind of respond to each other in that way. So that's a really great option, that is the wall. A couple other great options that I've used before are shelf, and also the timeline option over here. So shelf, I really like. This essentially creates columns on your Padlet. So if I have an assignment where I want students to respond to a series of questions, I might put them into this shelf style of Padlet so that my content is kind of stacked into those columns, and student responses are organized by column. They can still post pictures and videos. They can also still comment on each other's posts and kind of converse in that way. It's just that they're more focused on those specific questions within the title of the column. Timeline is also a really fun one. I've just started using this one, but it just creates a great timeline template that then students can collaborate on together. I would assume kind of maps would be a very similar idea, that students can add to an already kind of pre-created image of a map and add some details to it. So just take a look at some of these and decide, oh, I think this Canvas one where we get to kind of connect content in different ways would really be the best for the assignment that I have for my students. Really try to find the template that will fit that assignment best. So those are just a few of those options. I'm going to focus on going through how to make a wall Padlet. I find that one to be a really common one. It's one that I like using, and so we're going to kind of walk through the steps of creating that Padlet now. So I'll click on the wall one, and I'll click Select to get started on making my Padlet. Now Padlet's going to have already kind of a wallpaper and some design set in for me. If I don't like it, I can always change that. But it tries to keep it kind of fun and cute or pretty or whatever it is for students and for whoever's using it. So in this modify area over here, this is where I can really edit my Padlet and start making it my own. Under title, here I can put the title of my Padlet. I'm really using Padlet often for kind of discussion questions and things like that. So I might put discussion question or some kind of title like that, that would just kind of get people started with knowing what this Padlet was about, maybe give them some ideas about what they're going to post. And then in description, here you can kind of elaborate on that title, maybe give some instructions. If it's a discussion board post for me, I tend to give some instructions about leave a comment or leave a post and then respond to 2 other students in the comment section, and kind of give some guidance to how I want students interacting on the Padlet. I also might elaborate a little bit on what is my question, what am I really asking students to do. So I might give some instructions. Okay, so I just created a quick description with some instructions. Create a post that discusses the benefits of using Padlet with students. Respond to at least one other post to build on ideas. You could get into kind of more details here, maybe have some clear instructions, but that is your basic description. So I'm going to keep going through this modify section. You can always kind of click around if there's some pieces that you aren't sure about here, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Using icons would allow like emojis and things like that on your post, so you can turn that on if you want students to use them. The address here is kind of the unique link for your Padlet. So this is a great way to share the Padlet. I'll go over sharing the Padlet on Google Classroom and things like that also in another video or at the end of this video, but you can always copy this link and then share the link with students or with colleagues, whoever you need to contribute to your Padlet. Here you can change your appearance, so if you're not into this wallpaper, you can change the wallpaper and add your own pictures or a different picture. You can change the color scheme and the font, make this pretty however you want it to look for your students. Then we'll get into kind of what are students going to be able to do and see on this Padlet. So you can make some requirements as far as what does posting on the Padlet look like. Under attribution, I like to turn this on. If it's yellow, it is turned on. I like to see the names on each post, especially if I'm assigning this as an assignment. I want to know who has completed that assignment. So I turn that on so that student names appear along with their post kind of automatically. I leave the new post position at first. That just means that new posts are going to kind of appear in the corner up here first before they're just going to be kind of chronological in that order. I do like to turn on comments. Again, I use this wall often for commenting on each other's posts. I do believe there's a Padlet that's more specifically just kind of like a chat communication Padlet, so you could use that as well, but I like to turn comments on so that viewers can comment on each other's posts. Reactions, this is kind of like giving a like or a thumbs up on Facebook or a heart on Instagram or things like that, so you can turn that on. Sometimes the students find that pretty entertaining. And then content filtering. These are some really helpful options when using Padlet with students. So you can turn these on if you would like to require approval. So if you turn on require approval, that means that the moderator, you, will have to approve any post before it goes onto the wall of the Padlet. So you can kind of review what students have said, what they are attempting to post before it gets put on the wall. Make sure it's appropriate or completes the task or whatever it is that you're asking students to do. And Padlet will also filter out profanity for us. So if Padlet catches profanity or bad words within a post, it will automatically replace that with a nice emoji so that profanity is not posted on the wall. So I do like to leave those on. If sometimes I don't turn on the require approval if it's kind of more of a quick check-in, like an exit ticket or something like that, then I wouldn't turn on require approval. But if it's a longer kind of post and response, I might turn that one on. So now that we've got our Padlet totally set up, we want to hit the next button here. Okay, so I can review, make sure I've got everything I need on my Padlet, and I'll hit next. And now I'm all set to post on my Padlet. So I can now start posting. I can also share this for students to start posting. This Padlet is set up and ready to go. So I'm going to click Start Posting. Now I'll get into how do we post on our Padlet. So how will I be able to post on the Padlet, and how can my students also contribute a post to this Padlet? So the first thing that you'll want to do is make sure that this gets shared to students. So up here in this upper kind of right corner, you've got a few options. One of those being share. So I want to share this with my students and allow them to post. So I've clicked on share. And I have a few different options for sharing. I'm going to scroll down to where it says share. And I have a few options for sharing this Padlet. I can just send out a link to my students. I can copy and paste a link. I can put that maybe in a Google Meet or a Zoom chat if I want students to do this maybe as an exit ticket kind of really quickly at the end of class. I can put this on a website. I can email this out. But it also will connect with Google Classroom. So if I click on the Share with Google Classroom option down here, then it will allow me to connect Padlet with my Google Classroom, and it will allow me to kind of select the classes that I would like this to go to. and it will allow me to select what kind of post am I creating on Google Classroom. Is it going to be an assignment or a material? And I can share this with students that way. So that's a great way to get this out to students and make sure that they have access to it. So once you've shared this with students, they will get to see this page. So students will click on the link or follow the link on their Google Classroom assignment, and they'll get taken to this page. In order to post on this page, you'll click this pink plus button in the corner. When you hover over it, it'll turn into a little pencil saying that you can edit. So I'll click on that, and here is my post. You can see my name is already added up here because I had that turned on my settings. So any student that posts, their name will be on here. I can put a title to my post. So maybe I'm going to put the benefits of Padlet, and then I can write something about my posts, right? This is where kind of my main response goes. Okay, so something along this, giving my thoughts on Padlet, kind of creating that response. Let's say I wanted to maybe add some information about online Socratic seminars. I've got a document that talks about that. Well, I can either upload this document potentially, like from my computer or from somewhere that I have saved in my files. Or if it's a Google Doc, I can just hit the link button and I can copy and paste the URL of that Google Doc right here. And then it'll add that document to my post. I can also, if I clicked on the camera option here, I could create a video. It'll kind of open my camera up right away, and I'll have the option of creating a video to add to my post and a few other options. Now this post will save in real time, and it will appear on the wall right away unless I've asked the moderator to check the post before that they're posted. Otherwise, it'll appear on the wall right away. I don't need to hit post or anything. I'll just click away from it, and it will be posted on the wall. Once this is posted, you'll see the add a comment section right here down at the bottom. And here is where students can respond to each other. This is one of the benefits that I see in using Padlet, is that students are able to not only put their own response, but also read other student responses and respond to those. I really like to use Padlet in that way to get students talking with one another, building on each other's ideas, maybe asking questions and kind of challenging evidence or things like that students are using. It really gets students engaged in kind of the topic and the conversation. So you can add comments, and all of those are going to be kind of posted and updated in real time. So you'll see as more and more people start adding to the wall, posts will move around and they'll be added kind of in a chronological order. The tile size will change depending on the length of the post, and it'll just be kind of a fun and creative way for students to engage with each other and respond to discussion questions, respond to each other, and really kind of dive more deeply into some of the content or controversial issues that we might be covering in class.